Grab your Juicy Velour tracksuits and your Von Dutch trucker hats because Bennifer is back, y'all. 17 years after Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez called off their engagement, ET has new details on how the two are reconnecting. The two were spotted together in Montana over Mother's Day weekend. And before that, Ben was spotted visiting J-Lo in LA a few times shortly after she and A-Rod ended their engagement. And now, a source tells ET, quote, Ben has always had an affinity for Jennifer and was the one who initially started pursuing her and making an effort to reconnect romantically speaking. He wanted to explore things with her beyond a friendship, and they've both really been enjoying spending time together. We also have learned that the two have natural chemistry. I wonder where that came from. Whenever that they're together, the source continues to say, "quote They have a good time when they're hanging out, and things have been easy, fun, and exciting between them. They've stayed in touch over the years, so the two of them reconnecting isn't a huge surprise to their friends. Ben is protective over J-Lo, and they're trying to be as low-key as possible."
Is it just me or I can't believe this? It's like, is
Uh,
this really happening?
what year is it, Mal? But I'm kind of here for it. I care, and
I
I'm
mean,
invested.
I know a lot of people are. And for
I
those of
think
you
so
who
too.
Yeah, for those of you who don't remember Bennifer, these two were pretty much the hottest couple of the 2000s, and this is why it's such a big deal. And on top of that, there's a fun fact that they were the first ever celebs to have a blended couple nickname. It all started with Bennifer. They starred in two movies together. They gushed over each other and gave us all kinds of PDA moments on the red carpets. Geely, they starred in together in 2003, also Jersey Girl in 2004. Now, we're told that Jen and Ben have remained friendly since their 2004 split, but JLo told ET back in 2014 that it wasn't easy for her at the time of their breakup. Take a listen.
It was my first kind of heartbreak. It was just one of those things, I was an adult, we were about to get married, it didn't work out, and it was just a bad heartbreak. Like, just one of those breakups that really, it was like a tough one for me.
17 years ago, this broken off engagement surprised everyone, but also during the relationship, everyone was so obsessed with them and they were hounded by paparazzi, hounded by the media, hounded by fans. And so I feel like that's why this news of them maybe reconnecting is such a huge deal. And the reaction is everywhere. And it has been swift. Not to mention that we've also heard from Ben's BFF, Matt Damon, who was asked about the romance rumors on the Today Show twice.
Your friend, Ben Affleck, and a little thing we call Bennifer.
How did you even know that Bennifer was a thing again?
Possibly.
Maybe.
I just heard you guys. I was sitting here waiting to come on TV. It's the first time I heard about it.
And what did you think?
Yeah. It's a fascinating story.
All right, should we let him off the
I
hook?
hope it's true. I love them both. I hope it's true. That would be awesome.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, wondering, does he text you like,
hey, guess what? I'm dating J-Lo again.
Well, Ben and I wrote a movie together, so I talk to him every day. But we don't talk about personal stuff. We just talk about the movie.
It's kind of funny to see them 17 years later in a car together, going on a plane somewhere together. It's just interesting to see them together. Not much has changed.
Certainly not for her. She looks like she did 20 years ago. I mean, she looks incredible. I can tell you, I see him up close. He's definitely changed. He's aged. He looks like a 48-year-old man.
I thought what was interesting is that he didn't deny it. Of course he said they don't talk about personal business, but he didn't say, oh, no, they're just friends. He left the door open. But there was something that really got me, Benny, that made me start jumping on this bandwagon. Because at first, I'm not going to lie, I was like, we may be pushing it, but...
You were like, not again.
Not again, but also I just thought we were making a big deal out of nothing. But fans noticed that the two both attended the recent Backslide benefit concert, which aired last weekend. J-Lo right here looking gorgeous. I love her outfit. She kicked off the show with Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. J-Lo said that her mom used to sing the song to her as a baby. But also, this song just so happens to be a sacred Red Sox tradition to sing. Ben, of course, is a proud Boston native and a huge Red Sox fan. Here is Ben and J-Lo back in the 2000s when they would go to some Red Sox games. So naturally, the world started to speculate that when she sang that song, it was a subtle message of support to Ben.
Which I was there at Vax Live. I didn't make that connection. I don't watch sports, so I didn't know Sweet Caroline belonged to the Boston Red Sox. However, when Ben came out to present, though, I was like, hold on. J-Lo's here. And I started making that connection, and it just I didn't get carried away, but I was like, I wonder if they're hanging out. But as we know, this also is not the first time that Bennifer has been on our minds lately. You guys will remember just last month, Ben wrote a blurb praising his ex-fiance for an in-style spread, writing, "She remains to this day the hardest working person I've come across in this business. She has great talent, but she also worked very hard for her success, and I'm so happy for her that she seems at long last to be getting the credit she deserves." He also added, "Where are you keeping the fountain of youth?" Just said, but let's get right down to it, Malicia. Do we ship this or sink this 17 years later?
Okay. I ship anything that makes someone happy and it's not hurting someone else. I say that all the time. So, of course, we love Jennifer. We love Ben. He seems like he's in a really good place now. So, I would love for it to work, but I'm always cautious when you get out of a relationship, or if I get out of a relationship, just rushing into something immediately afterwards. I feel like you don't have enough time to really digest and figure out what you learned from the past relationship to make sure that you don't manifest that in your next relationship. But at the same time, these two really could just be enjoying their friendship. Different people react to breakups differently. Some people, they need another man or a woman to comfort them during that time. Or some people go to work, they start working really hard. People react differently. So I don't know. I ship it regardless because why not? Why
I
not?
will say if Ben and Jennifer are hanging out, I don't think it's as friends. They're former loves.
Okay.
They were so in it. They were once engaged. If anything, I do question the timing because, Ben was just dating Anna de Armas. J-Lo, for us, it seems like she just broke up with A-Rod. So I do feel like it might be a little rushed, but us, we get so swept away with nostalgia, but also a good love story. Like, who doesn't want to believe that two people who were once together found each other again 17 years later, now they're falling for each other? Like, we want to believe that fairy tale, and plus two people who are as famous as Jen and Ben, it just makes for a good story. So we're eating it up. But I also have to wonder, how do their exes feel about this? Notably, Jennifer Garner. Well, a source tells ET that Jennifer isn't bothered by Ben hanging out with J-Lo or anyone else. She wants what is best for Ben. Our source goes on to say that what matters most to her is Ben being a great dad. They've been in a good groove when it comes to co-parenting for a while, and their kids' happiness is Jen's main priority. And as we know, J-Lo also keeps friendly with a few of her exes too, like Mark Anthony, and they share twins Max and Emmy together. But I have a feeling that A-Rod feels a lot differently than maybe Mark would with this going on. If I was A-Rod, I would be fighting and clawing to win her back. And so then to see this headline and to see these photos of Jennifer hanging out with Ben Affleck, who she was once engaged to, that would throw me for a loop. Do you feel like J-Lo, there's a chance that she'll remain friendly with A-Rod, or is she sending a message here that it's done?
She might be sending a message. I mean, we don't know, but I just think about, you talked about the headlines, how A-Rod would feel about those headlines. I think about how J-Lo felt about the headlines with A-Rod, possibly cheating on her or messing around. So, I mean, at the end of the day, do what you have to do to be happy and to, keep yourself moving and going forward. But A-Rod and J-Lo, they also have businesses together. So it's not going to be as easy to break away from
No, it's
those
not.
things.